Good evening, all of you Minties, and welcome back to another live recap review of Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 4. Still couldn't find a title for it. I know they come out right after, so I might do some searching during this episode, so I'll keep it out. And if anyone else is doing some search and find out what the name of this episode number 71 is, let me know in the chat. So obviously you have me, Amanda. We have Omar. Omar, say hello.
I put myself on mute.
Yes, he did.
Hi, hi everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Long episode, second longest episode of the season, correct?
Yes, it is. Mhm.
All right. So we don't know the episode name yet, but it is episode 4.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's break it down. Like what happened in this episode?
Right.
We start off with the saying
Morning
of
of
goodbyes to some characters. Pretty much everybody focusing on the dead characters that all passed away last episode. And then they burn them. And I was curious. I'm like, I wonder if they're still gonna burn them just in case.
Yep, and they did.
Yep, and they totally did. Right.
Well,
So
what are you gonna do with all those bodies anyways? I mean, it's probably better off just to burn them all.
sure, yeah, no, that's a good idea. So they
Well, I
burn
mean,
them all.
tire them all out trying to dig up some graves? No, they gotta go fight a war down south at King's Landing, so they need their strength.
I tell you that I really like John's speech. About
I
how
agree.
these eyes will never open, and how the people that died here were the shields that guarded the realm of men. And I thought that was a really cool speech.
I think it
It
was
was
very
well done.
poignant. I think it was a very poignant speech considering the trend or the topic of conversation throughout the entire episode. And oh, by the way, guys, we do talk about spoilers in here. So if you're on the chat, be prepared. We will talk the whole episode, so we will talk spoilers. But
What's up,
because this entire
Psycho Cleveland, Smotlock, cruising space. I'm sorry, through space. Sorry,
No,
I was
you're
saying hi
good.
to the people in the chat.
Hey guys.
Yeah, so we do talk about spoilers eventually, but actually, no, we start talk
The whole thing's a
spoilers now.
spoiler, yeah. So just be
Why are you
prepared.
watching this if you haven't seen Game of
Don't
Thrones
yeah.
yet?
So come back and watch it if you haven't. Yeah, but the whole conversation throughout this entire episode, which was a long one and a lot happened, even though it seemed really slow to me, was Jon Snow makes a good ruler, even if he doesn't want to be one. And now a lot of people know he is the heir to the throne that has more claim than Daenerys. So let's talk about a little bit how we get to that point.
Okay,
There's a
so
lot of
yeah, absolutely. So we have the morning. Everybody is
Yep.
getting buried. Then we have the celebration, which takes us back to season 1 of Game of Thrones, where it's in the hall where they're partying, and the mood's a little different now, right? Of course, because back in episode 1, it was a different kind of celebration. Robert Baratheon was back. People are introduced to his kids. This is like, man. So dead people walking, that's a thing, right? It was like that
Yeah.
kind of party.
Yeah.
Nobody really talked to each other.
Very
And then
quiet.
as the drinking went on, things started happening.
Yes.
Such as the very first thing that happened was Daenerys making Gendry, Lord Gendry Baratheon
Yep.
of Storm.
Storm ends.
So pretty cool, right? Pretty smart for her,
Yes. Good
making
move.
allies like that. And then we get Tormund get rejected by Brienne
Again.
and she takes off with Jamie, and that happens. Which I'm good with that.
I did write fanfic like in my notes.
Yeah. I mean, really, that's what it feels like. Like these happy moments. There were a lot of happy moments.
During these parts, but a lot of interesting moments. Someone, I don't remember who it was in the chat. Was it Phillips? I think Evans last week, who said a lot of people were concerned about the who's the big bad now that the Night King's dead, right? Because that's what they set up. And that glance that Daenerys sent around the room.
Oh yeah. We definitely got to talk about this.
Yes, we do.
It's not gonna go. It's back to being Game of Thrones.
It really is.
Maybe. Holy shit, they're gonna do this.
They're gonna go that route.
So okay, and then we get the rejection of Lord Gendry when he proposes to Arya, which I thought it's perfect.
It was
Arya
perfect.
never wanted to be a lady since season 1, since episode
never wanted to wear the
1.
dresses.
You knew that she was going to be the fighter, didn't want to wear the dresses, was no lady of Winterfell, so completely cool with that.
Exactly.
Then people are banging it out with other
Yeah,
people,
there's a
which
lot of cute moments. You have, the Hound has an interesting moment with Sansa where she pretty much, it's confirmed she's not the little bird in the cage anymore. She has grown, and even though he, says to her, "If you had gone with me, none of what had happened to you had happened." She's like, "But if none of that had happened to me with Ramsay and Littlefinger and everything, I wouldn't be who I am today." So that's a really interesting and kind of correct fact for Sansa. She may have been still naive to this day if she had ran off with the Hound. Who knows what would happen to her, and was able to find safety somewhere. But
Mhm.
she has become this manipulator of sorts, and she is understanding this game that everyone else is playing that she's been two steps behind since she was a little girl, and now she's finally
What
up to bat.
I mean, she has been tutored by the best, right? You've had
She was.
Littlefinger and Cersei, so
She's doing
if you're
exactly
gonna
what.
get manipulate, if you're gonna turn into a biggest manipulator, you might as well have the best show you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Psycho Cleveland, we will get to that because I know exactly what the Hound's gonna do, which is what I think a lot of people have been looking forward to, with the
well,
Clegane
we
brothers.
think. Then again,
We think.
It's Game of Thrones. He's gonna get eaten by dragons or one
Well,
dragon now.
one dragon.
Uh, so yeah, we have that beautiful moment between. Oh, it was beautiful, but it was just one of those real fanfic moments between Jamie and Brienne. So
Yes, it was. Yeah,
now
I
but that
appreciated it.
because there's too many happy moments. So I'm like, where is all of this going? Okay, okay. So before we talk about where all this is going, John and his auntie are making out, and then he's like, "Oh shit! Wait, you're my aunt. This is
Yeah,
weird."
and we still haven't
And
talked about what we just talked about.
and she's like, "You know what? Let's not tell anybody." And he's like, "Okay, okay. Look, we'll make this work. We can rule. We can get married. I love you." And she's like, "Right. We're gonna make this work. I just told you how."
Yep,
And the
you're not telling anyone.
look at her eyes. I was like, "Oh shit,
She's gone mad.
And I was watching it with my brother, and we were both in. I didn't agree with the fact that this has been setting up for a long time because Daenerys has always been a beacon of hope. Whenever something bad, I mean, we'll go back to like season 3, right? You had the Red
Yeah,
Wedding in episode 9. Episode 10 was the Misha, right? What that
yeah,
my whatever they called her mother. Like, it was like a beacon
yeah.
of hope for those
Misa.
people. Misa,
Mhm.
thank you. So she has been a beacon of hope for the show, and it wasn't until maybe last season when she burned the Tully's
Yeah, without
Sam's
yeah,
right without having any kind of mercy that you're like, oh, okay, well, she needed to build a backbone. That's okay.
sure.
Now it seems like they're building her to be
Or maybe the lords of, the Dothraki when she burned them all in that part too earlier. It was
right.
like super
There's
big.
always been an
There's like
evil
little like
like a wicked side to her, a Targaryen
yeah,
side to her.
of course, she's
But
Targaryen.
now they're really like this episode really pushed that. Like, holy shit, she's got
Yes.
crazy eyes the entire episode.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
that look she gives because Tormund gives this great speech about how John, and I wrote it
oh yeah,
down, that
about
he
how
has to be a king to be able to, ride a madman or a king to ride a dragon. And think about that. Targaryens, madmen, they historically go mad, and king. It's like a foreshadowing. I love that he said it like that. You have to be a madman or a king to ride a dragon. That's what Tormund said, and he talked about how great John is, and that look on Daenerys' face when she sees all these men who rally around her, that she's the Lannisters together, and she sees all these groups, and she doesn't belong, and she's realizing that her rule, even if they are, praising her, is very thin. She has a very thin rule, and it's starting to get to her because all these families have their own allegiances, and they've all been interconnected all these years, and she's been off doing her
well,
own thing.
not just that, but the family that she's built. I mean, she's lost the dragon, right?
Yep,
Her the
two of
Thraki
them.
are gone. Like
Yep.
literally, like they've been wiped out of extinction, except for like maybe 10. I don't know. I didn't
Yep,
see any
and
of
her
this episode.
Unsullied are pretty much defeated too. Jorah's gone as
But
well.
the interesting part too is that John has also felt like left that way.
Yep,
John is left like all his friends are leaving again. Last time Sam left, this motherfucker got stabbed and killed.
yep.
So Sam is leaving. Tormund's leaving. He's taking Ghost with him. Now you're like, oh shit. If she is to go crazy and kill John, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, it's the only way.
Like I mean, this is the perfect timing when he's vulnerable, when he doesn't have anybody there. His sisters are staying behind. He's at war. So then, man, And then just like everything that you're like, okay, why is this so happy? What's happening here? I feel like everybody's having a party and some shit's about to go down. I really expected the Golden Army to climb the wall and start killing people. Like, and then Jamie breaks Brain's heart by telling her that he's not a good man.
No, he's
And he
not.
tells her everything,
He's
right? Except for
hateful.
the fact
Yep.
that he's banging his sister, which I guess she knows
Everyone
already.
knew. Yeah, exactly.
But, he put things into perspective.
Yeah, he did. I mean, and he was going to stay, but I think his realization when he realized that
Oh, they killed the dragon,
they killed the
right?
dragon, half of Daenerys' fleet is already gone. Miss Sandy's been captured. When Sansa gets that note and she's like, I was really looking forward to getting down there to see your sister being executed. Now I won't get the chance. He realized, I mean, Daenerys is going to kill her, and he's not going to get a chance. Like she's not going to show mercy now. There's no way Daenerys is going to show mercy. He has to go because a part of him still. It's always been about Cersei, and even if he ends up being the one we all think will kill her, he's got to be there to do it. So he's got to leave Winterfell. He can't hang out with Brienne and have night sex and all that stuff. They got to do it. So it's the perfect timing, and it looks like everyone minus Sansa, because she has to stay in the north, is heading south. Because you say, Jon's vulnerable, but remember, even though Daenerys asked him not to, he told his family, or I guess Bran told them while he was present, that he is the true heir to the throne. He is actually not their brother. He is more like their cousin.
Mhm.
Um, and they know Sansa's upset about it, and Arya is suddenly heading down to King's Landing because she has unfinished business. The Hound is going with her, or well, she joined the Hound because he's also going for unfinished business. So while Jon looks like he's unprotected, he has the best assassin coming up behind him. So I'm not too worried about him unless something happens to Arya. But
Yeah, that's what that's kind of where I'm thinking this is gonna go. It's like, okay, he's gonna be fine, but I don't think things are gonna be fine. I like the turn that this is making. Uh,
I do too.
it's weird because I was just bitching last time. I'm like, this has become too safe, too almost sitcom-y. Like you have characters hooking up, you have characters that are still alive that probably should have been dead in the books. But now it feels like, oh shit, this is what they've been doing. They've been tricking us and fooling us into a state of false, security. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, wait a minute, everything's fine. No, not really. Like the army of the Unsullied that she had right in front of King's Landing. So okay, look really quick. Did it seem odd to you after they killed what's his name, Rhaegal, the
Yes.
dragon,
Man,
that
that
she,
was fast.
that she took off? I mean, because she made a stupid decision.
She
John
did.
was like, he needs to rest. Like if he
Yes.
doesn't rest, and then she's like, "No, we're gonna go." And if you know, and so he was like, "All right, fuck. I guess I better listen to the queen. She's
Yep.
queen." So did it seem weird that she took off after um he got killed? She took off with Dragon, and left her army there.
Well, I think she got scared because remember these are her children, and she was ready to attack Euron. She was ready to say Dracarys, but then she saw. I think she, what is it? Froze and and fleed. It's a fright or flight syndrome, or fight or flight, and I think that's what ended up happening. It was just a matter of she just saw one of her children go down. She's already had a first one die, so she's down to one, and she got scared and ran off. And that's what ended up happening. And then her ships got it.
Yeah,
And
I mean
Sandy was captured.
they're really pushing the fact that John is a better leader.
He isn't,
Like
but he is. I mean, he's
no, no,
always
no.
has
I
been.
know, but they're really throwing it in your face when she leaves her fleet of ships. Like that's I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's a better way of handling that, but whatever. I get it.
Yeah.
So man, it's funny because like I was like, oh, don't say anything. Why did John say something? Oh shit! Now Sansa's gonna tell Tyrion.
Because
Ah,
she knows
damn it! Now
exactly. Yeah.
Tyrion's gonna go
To
tell
tell Varys.
Varys.
And can I say that Varys is the only person in this damn episode who seems to be making any freaking sense?
Well,
Because
he's always been the
I guess
guy
he
that
has
made
been.
sense. I
But
mean, out of anybody, he is the guy that has always only cared about the realm. Like it doesn't
yes, that's
matter
true.
who rules as long as he's a good leader, and whoever's ruling, it benefits. The realm benefits from whoever's ruling.
And
So
yes.
out of anybody, I mean, between when it was just between him and Littlefinger, and then when he was advisor to the Queen, it's always been like that. It's always
Yeah.
Varys has always been a step ahead of the game.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's funny because Tyrion, I think, always thinks he is, but in actuality, he's so hell-bent on just believing that Daenerys can be a good queen because he thinks anything has to be better than his sister, but, he brings that one scene they have together when they are talking out loud, um, he has a lot of Varys makes a lot of good points about, you know, those who don't want to rule usually make the best rulers. Um, and he talks about he's seen tyrants before, and they're always the ones who talk about destiny, which is what she has always talked about this whole time. Even in her earlier seasons, it's her destiny, it's her destiny. And when you think of it that way, if it starts to crumble, wouldn't that make your mind go a little bit Ari and a little bit oury and off? And so they've really, even though you didn't, I think back and I said maybe they have been setting this up this whole time, that she's seeing herself succeed only then to fail when she gets to the one place where she wants to be, and she can't take it. I mean, incest and all that probably doesn't help.
there's no scientific proof behind that.
Oh, yes.
Look at the blue people of West Virginia. Anyway, no, you're right though. But I'm trying to think back because I just rewatched like some of my favorite episodes.
Yeah,
I
go
didn't
ahead.
watch all. Normally, I would watch every season, but it's gotten to be 8 seasons, so that's quite a lot to go back and watch. I I don't know. From the beginning, it seemed like they were setting her up to be the queen and stuff. And I guess it wasn't maybe until season 6, season 7 that they slowly started to set up the fact that she might turn. Like it's really not as fast as like Revenge of the Sith, right? When
No, yeah,
Anakin
where it's
turned.
like,
Like, what? You're
"Why
bad and you killed a bunch of kids.
why
How
would you
does
do
that
that,
happen? But
Anakin?"
anyway,
Yeah.
it's a little it's taking a longer pace, and that's what this. But this whole episode is literally she's taking a turn for the worse. Like, and then I did love the way that Miss Sandy went out, and
I
she
know.
as she said Dracarys.
Sorry, it's
That's
just like, "Burn
exactly what I
them."
wanted her to say, just to make
Yeah,
fucking Daenerys snap, and she did. I mean, her
she's
the
yep.
look she gave right as she walked away from the camera. I mean, it looks like she's about to burn down the goddamn city.
Oh, yeah, she is, and that's a shame, especially because that's not how it didn't have to be that way, but yeah, it is gonna have to be that way, and and let's talk about that one scene. Um So it was a very long episode. A lot of stuff happened, and one thing we missed was Braun showing up to our Lannister brothers having their little conversation about Jamie wanting to stay with Brienne and all that
Yeah,
stuff. And Braun showed up, and then of course, just what everyone said. Tyrion had told him, "Whatever someone offers you, offer double," and he offers him Highgarden, and he's like,
yeah,
"Okay," and
that
he
sounds
leaves.
right.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to be your
That,
officer. I don't want to
that
fight for you.
that's very in character, though. I mean, he's always been a
It is.
he's always been a piece of shit cutthroat, but
But
he's
so
always
what does
had a
that mean we're
soft
done
spot.
with him? Are we done with him? Are we gonna see him? Like, he said he won't fight for them. He's leaving, gonna wait till they win, unless they all die and it wouldn't matter. So,
I don't know. I mean, he's in the same boat, I guess, as Tormund and
yeah, because
those
Torment's
characters that
still at
left.
home.
So,
Yeah.
what? How would you even see those characters again unless they go the Lord of the Rings route and end it going 5 years later? Tormund is
Yeah.
living happy with his giant half babies, and Braun is living in high. I mean, I don't really
With
see
Ghost.
that happening in the
No.
show. I just can't
No.
believe we're down to 2 episodes.
And
That is a
there's
lot to cram into 2 episodes. Because if you have the battle the next episode, and she does turn, and she becomes evil,
that's a quick turn.
that's
That's
the
a quick
sixth.
descent
That's the
into
sixth
madness.
episode, and
Yep.
that's it. Like, so I find it really hard. Like, how are they going to cram that much stuff? And these 2 episodes are what, an hour and 20 minutes each.
Yeah, they're like 78, 70, or they're about 80, I think, minutes a piece, I think. So they're fairly long as well. So they're
So,
they have a lot of time, obviously, and they can do it if they do it smart. It's just a matter of will they do it in the manner at which will be pleasing in the end and kind of round out this series. And I don't know because, like, I mean, really, realistically, this descent into her madness could possibly have taken a few more episodes to get to.
mhm.
But because we're on a
Uh,
time crunch, the turn has to be pretty quick.
that's why I'm surprised they decided to go 6 episodes.
6 episodes and not
That's
stretch it out to 10 or something.
Yeah, I would have been happy with 10. Leave that,
Me too.
but whatever. I'll take what I can get. Um, so she does mention the fact that that her whole goal and purpose is to rid the world of tyrants. That's
Yes.
her destiny. That's what she says, no matter the cost.
Yep,
And
that's
when she
right.
said that, like, you see the shot of Varys and Tyrion going, "We're gonna have to kill this bitch."
Yep.
Like Tyrion's like, don't say it, don't say it," and Varys is like, "I'm not gonna say anything," and just walks away. And I really, and like somebody in the chat just mentioned, when was the last time Tyrion had a good idea? Like
It's
it's
not
been
long.
a while. Like we talked about that I think in the first episode of this
We
season.
did. Yeah, because she
Like
she
we
had
just,
blamed him
yeah.
for a lot of stuff, so
Well, and he's made like Tyrion, like I said, compared to the book Tyrion, he's made a lot of stupid decisions.
he has.
Like even last season, going and capturing the dead to go show his, what the fuck? Yes, it gave us a great episode, but logically, it made no damn sense to even do that.
No, I agree completely. But there's a so overall this episode, it had a lot of stuff in it.
Hmm.
Obviously not a battle. I think a lot of people, I mean, even you, I think were anticipating a battle, right? And the way they, did the preview was kind of a setup that you thought
I was
you
surprised
were gonna have a
by
battle.
I was surprised the route they took this, but I like it honestly,
Me too.
and I like the death of Rhaegal or Rhaegon. What's the
Rhaegal.
dragon?
It's Rhaegal.
Rhaegal.
Rhaegal, yeah. Mhm.
I didn't see that coming at all. Because
Neither did
you have this
I.
this happy moment of her, and then she gets crazy eyes again. Like I said, once again, really pushing the fact that, oh shit, she is going to turn into the Mad Queen. This is
Exactly.
happening.
Well, and it
So,
could be the Targaryen curse, right? I mean, this is just what happens, and there's nothing that, to be blamed. It just could be her genetics, because they always say mental illness it could be a genetic thing. So there we go. It's just that's how it, and it all takes is something to switch her. But I'll tell you, you're on, buddy. He's quite the strategist, and I don't know. I mean, if Cersei's not a little bit impressed by him now, I don't know if she ever will be, even if she doesn't really want him. But Jamie's never come back in that sense, I don't think. So you got dragons and you don't scout. Yeah, Chris, I am not sure why she didn't scout ahead, and
I don't
she
think she
could have.
was. She's going back home. She's going back to Dragonstone for some reason. She wasn't advised. Like, hey, my sister might have sent people to Dragonstone to come and kill you. I don't know. Like once again, it's like I expect more from the characters of Tyrion and
Yeah.
Danny, even. But
Well, and this is the thing, because that whole scene, right? And this is what makes me mad about John. And I understand it's just John. I need to charge my laptop, and he's trying to be this. I don't want the throne, and I will tell everyone they have to follow you. And I bent my knee. How many times do I have to do it? And I'll do it all the time. And he will, in a battle meeting, basically, we follow whatever the queen wants, and gets Arya and Sansa pissed off at him, and everyone just they don't want to say no to her. The people who are following her don't want to say no to her, even though she's wrong. And that's why Tyrion keeps making all these mistakes, is because I think they're afraid of her. Like he said, he told Sansa said, "You fear her, don't you?" And he does. He won't admit it, but he is afraid of her. And who wouldn't be afraid of a woman with Targaryen blood and a dragon and some Unsullied? I would be a little afraid. Cersei's not, but
man, there's just so much to speculate in the next two episodes. I
yes,
mean, you're turning into. I mean, you're completely changing the story arc of Danny from this motherly figure to
yeah,
the savior to the villain, and to do that in two episodes, it piss a lot of fans off. Which that's what Game of Thrones does.
yeah, and that's what they're supposed to do. I mean, because we got the fanfics ending that everyone wanted. I don't know if everyone would be completely satisfied with that. We have to get an ending that is what I think he always said was bittersweet.
Hmm.
So it'll be something that,
I,
you know,
it dodoesn't matter. Like, you're not gonna make everybody happy. People are gonna be upset. People that have read the books are gonna be like, "This
oh
isn't the way
yeah,
the books are gonna be," or people that have followed the show or like, it's just it happens with every show,
it does.
every TV show. I can't remember the last TV show that I think everyone agreed was a perfect ending to a wonderful show. Maybe
6 Feet
Mash.
Under.
Can anybody
Oh,
correct me in the chat?
6 Feet
6 Feet Under
Under
was great, but the last season had its
was,
few down.
yeah.
Like I'm talking, like everybody was like, "Yeah, that was perfect." Um,
The special effects, Drew, is better than Buffy. Yeah, because Game of Thrones has serious money, and the CW or WB, whatever it was at the time, did not have that kind of money
Yeah,
for
sadly.
production.
Yeah, the look of them, like when they puff away, looks so bad compared to Game of Thrones. Buffy, I
Yeah,
mean,
Buffy.
whenever
Yeah,
they
I
get the vampires got
know.
killed.
They get snuffed. Yeah.
Yeah, Breaking Bad had a good ending, but I don't know. I wasn't the biggest Breaking Bad fan. I know
Neither was I.
that's a cardinal sin to TV or people that love Breaking Bad. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
trying to think of what show everybody was happy with the ending.
but yeah, I
'Cause,
don't think any.
you had things like Lost.
No,
Were like
definitely no one was happy with the way that
no, not
went.
no one. Some people were. I was okay with the
Some
show
people were, but
or
not a lot of
with the
people.
ending. Not Brian K. Vaughan. All right. What else was there to talk about in this episode? There was something else.
Let's see. Talked about all the exchanges. I mean, we talked a little bit about the siblings. I am interested to see. So obviously, we never got any resolution on where Bran's ravens went during the battle. Maybe it doesn't matter, but he keeps talking about going back into the past, right? And he mentioned that to Tyrion. He lives most of his life in the past now because he mentioned that the wheelchair that he has had built for him was
Yeah.
one built from 120 years ago. Someone else who had a disabled son designed it and built it, and that's where he came up with the idea for it.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I love how everybody's treating him like the weird kid. Like, yeah, all right,
he
man,
is.
whatever, that's cool. You go
Yeah,
on and do you.
you do
I'm
you.
gonna go over here and talk to normal folks.
Yes, but there's still some. I feel like we aren't done with him yet, and there's still some part the Three-Eyed Raven has to play in this whole saga. And they only have 2 episodes to show it. I just hope that he's just a string that doesn't get pulled, and we just lose it completely, and it would be a waste of a buildup of that character just because the only thing he was a plot device to get the truth about John's heritage, I would be disappointed. And
Well, I
maybe
mean,
that's all
and they
it is.
used him as bait to get the
And
Night
bait,
King,
okay,
right?
for the Night King. So, but if that's all he is, and now he's just hanging out, he doesn't want Winterfell. He doesn't have once anymore. He says all that stuff. So, if we don't see more from him in some capacity, I think I'd be a little bit disappointed that the Three-Eye Raven didn't help out in some way, or in the end, show us something. I guess. Uh,
We may still get that. I don't know.
yeah,
Um, the dragon got smoked too easy. Yeah, I see that, but then they mentioned like he was hurt and he needed to
yeah,
rest and
because we
keep it.
saw his wing had holes in it. That's
Yeah,
why John said he wouldn't ride him because he wasn't healing fast enough, and he didn't want to hurt him, even
I
though
kind of wanted the dragon to go kamikaze on those ships though, and just dive down and take a
like
couple
he
ships
could
with
have. I
them.
mean,
That would have been
it went
cool.
straight in his neck and his chest. I mean, that thing.
Yeah.
There's no way it was gonna survive that.
Is the three-eyed raven supposed to be some uber-powered character? I don't think so. I thought it was just an old man in a tree. Well, I'm sorry. In the books, it looked like a tree man.
Tree Man. But the way they've been
In the
setting up
TV show, it's
Bran's
just a guy sitting in a
story,
tree.
yeah. But the way they've been setting up this journey for Bran, I just felt like there would be some kind of a end game, and it wouldn't be just to be used as bait for the Night King. It'd be something else. But maybe that is all it is, and he's just gonna hang out Winterfell in the Godswood while Sansa rules it as the Warden of the North, or whatever her title
I
is. The end of it.
I think it's interesting
Yeah,
to see the changes in like the way I was thinking the show was going to go. Like most people speculated, right? They were like, "Oh, three dragons, right? It's going to be Jon, Tyrion,
a lot of
and
people said that.
Danny, right? They're all going to ride together because Tyrion's got Targaryen blood because he's a bastard child." Everybody knew this. No,
Nope.
never happened, right?
Yeah.
But we are down to one dragon, and I guess in a way that's what I've come to expect from Game of Thrones: to be surprised by things that take place like such as this latest episode. I was surprised the way the turn that they're making.
Well, and I think what it does demonstrate, someone had, I don't know if it was a chat or if it was an article I read where they said that, or if it was a conversation I had with someone else, maybe you, about the fact that it seems like the writers, the showrunners of the show, and even George R. R. Martin, when it comes to the magic parts, like your brother Tommy had said, like George R. R. Martin said in an interview, the magic parts are the hardest for me to write. He hates writing those parts. And I feel the same way when I think about the show, because there's magic, but it's almost like it's just they don't want to deal with it too long. And maybe that's why we're getting rid of dragons, because dragons are in a sense a magical creature, because they were long dead. The way they were brought back was very magical in a sense. And what they do well is the human interactions, and that's what we're getting back to, is our human interactions between all of the human characters. No Night Kings, get the three-eyed raven and push him back in Godswood and let him hang out there, whatever. Mm-hmm. And let's just focus on our human characters, because that's what drives the story. That's what makes it compelling in the first place. Because for how many seasons was the Night King just a whisper and briefly mentioned here and there and briefly shown? But what drew everyone to the show in the first place was the incest and the death and the sex and the violence and
wait, did you say what drew everybody to the show was the incest? I love that you went with that first. Oh, no. Honey, just because we're from Kentucky doesn't mean everybody else is going to agree with that. Come on, it's titties and dragons. That's what drew everybody to this show at first.
Titties and dragons.
That's how I talked my friends into it. I'm like, it's got dragons, and they're like, yeah, got lots of titties. All right, well, I'll check it out, see what it's about, and it turned out to be a good show.
Yeah, anyways.
I gotta reply back to Sledge. Sledge, I don't think we're gonna see Stannis, buddy. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think we are.
Even Amanda, that was cute. Like when we were talking right before the season started, Amanda was like, "Do you think we're gonna see like old characters come back when the Night King comes and attacks?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think so." Like Littlefinger. Remember, you were like Littlefinger. You were showing. Yeah. You were telling. Like I think you shared might have been a video or something with me about Littlefinger being the No Face Man.
Oh, like, yes. So there was a theory that he was the No-Face Man. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much like, I was like, we got 6 episodes left. They don't have enough time for that. Maybe in the books, right? Maybe in the books. Because, I mean, I've always heard theories about, what's his name? Cyril being the No-Face. What's his name? Jack and Haggard.
Yeah.
Incest is a draw. All right, Smotlock. Kentucky represent, right? Thanks a lot, Smotlock.
No body, no death. Marco said maybe Drogon's a female and will have eggs.
I like that.
That would be interesting. And I think, and I had a theory that Daenerys would get pregnant, because why do they keep mentioning her, the whole pregnancy thing? But now I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they're going to go that route. And if they do, they haven't shown it yet. So she's not pregnant, and I don't think it's going to happen in 2 episodes. So I'm going to say I'm going to have to redo my who's going to end up on the throne at the end, because it's definitely not going to be a child.
I'm going to have to redo. There is no redo.
But if it is Jon Snow, I would be fine and very happy with that.
That would be so predictable and so not Game of Thrones. So
but,
honestly, I don't see him. Maybe I'm agreeing with you now. I don't see him making it, especially the way they're setting it up. Right? He has no friends left except for Arya. And if you know,
I
really want a surprise episode where Cersei kills Arya.
That could be a red herring. It could be a red herring. They're setting it up.
If that happens, people are gonna lose their shit. They're gonna be like, "She just killed a fucking Night King. How is Cersei gonna?" But that's Game of Thrones. That's what happens, right? You have to have that feeling of being pissed off on Monday, going, "God damn motherfucker! I can't believe Cersei killed Arya." Not that that's gonna happen, but I mean, that's the feeling you would get from watching Game of Thrones on Sunday nights.
No, it would. I don't know. I'm trying to think who's going to end up on the throne now, and I think so. We were talking about this last episode, because everyone's like, "Well, is Arya Azor Ahai because the prophecy and she killed the Night King?" And everyone's like, "I don't think
there's a prophecy in this show anymore."
Yeah, I mean, well, with the Red Woman dead, maybe the prophecy's gone. But when you read the prophecy, just because it said when the cold breath comes and darkness, the darkness doesn't have to be the Night King. Maybe the darkness is Daenerys's potential rule and her descent into madness, and maybe Jon is still Azor Ahai and he has to kill her. Maybe it's.
You think he's going to be the Queen Slayer? I like that though.
I would love it for him to be the Queen. That would be the Queen Slayer. I mean, that is a theory that would make sense, and it would work. Or someone else does it. But I don't know. It would just make sense for it to be him, especially because he seems so bent on protecting her and being there for her because he loves her. But he has to see exactly what Sam was saying the whole time. Would she do the same for you? She wouldn't do the same for you. She is all about her, and it's all about her goal. And, how can you follow that?
That's sad, but I think you're right. Maybe the mountain kills Arya on Cersei's order, and the Hound
Oh
kills the
gosh,
mountain.
that'd be
Man,
intense.
man, I don't know, Elsa. I would like to see that. I want to see some unpredictable things happening.
I
Porgelli
would
said we
too.
have a dragon surprise coming up. I don't know
Well,
what he
someone said
knows.
they're going to do armor on the dragon, and
Who said
I
that?
don't.
Somebody in the chat?
My husband, no. My
Your
husband
husband.
for this.
Wow, what
My
would they get? What would they get to like? Once again, had they planned ahead, maybe they could have been like, "Hey, she's got these
because
giant arrows, right? What cannot be penetrated by giant arrows?" I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
those,
By
yeah,
this
I don't
point, I think
know.
she's just gonna go in and burn the whole goddamn city.
Well,
All
they've
right,
got
Psycho
to. They're
Cleveland
gonna have to
said
take.
me. Chris Sip
Okay,
said
then
me.
so other people did say it. Okay, I
Everybody's fanficking dragon armor. You fucking Dungeons and Dragon nerds.
Oh goodness, there's nothing wrong with dragon armor.
No, I think it's
Someone's
cool.
got to protect the underbelly, though, guys. Protect the underbelly because that's where they're coming, unless they go low, and then yeah,
It's gonna be hard. Now,
those
but
things are
how
powerful.
the hell did she build all those arrows so quick, man?
She had a lot of time while they were fighting the Night King. She had all that time to collect her golden army and build a bunch of arrows. I don't think that's. I
All
mean,
right, now here's something I like. This is from M. Victoria Mattia. Danny kills Cersei, Arya kills Danny, and then Sansa takes the throne. That is
that would be
actually
awesome.
sounding a lot. And I also want John dead. You throw John dead in there, like getting
Yeah.
killed by I don't know, hot pie. Then
Popeye. I know Popeye's not killing anyone.
just
Maybe
like he
Gendry
accidentally
because
dies
he's.
of like stomach poisoning, like some kind of food poisoning from the pie that what's his name made.
Oh, Cycle Cleveland. I don't think we can call this show Talking Thrones because I think someone else uses that.
Yeah, yeah, Psycho Cleveland. That was a good try, buddy.
Yeah, it's
By the
called
way, Psycho
Stream
Cleveland,
Junkies. They
I
use that.
really appreciate. I gotta give my boy a shout out. He made my ass laugh so hard with the latest comment that he put on our video about our hobbies, how we spend time, or how do we find time for our hobbies.
Yeah.
He said, "Why does Dan look like the guy that that works at every creation museum?" And I'm like, God damn, he's not wrong.
He's
But
not
anyway,
wrong.
sorry, I didn't mean to derail from the talk.
No, that's fine. All else die though. Oh, Chris,
You
you
forgot
talking about
about Hot
everyone
Pie?
else?
Nobody should forget about Hot Pie. That dude should be sitting on the throne. Let's
See,
see.
like, okay, so Ameski had said it'll turn from monarchy to a democracy. One of our friends had also mentioned that as a possible theory. I don't know. I guess they could have set it up to be that
Am I
way.
not part of these chats? Who said that?
Steph did in
Oh,
our group
well,
chat.
that's
You just
why.
scrolled through it and didn't listen to it. That's on you. That's on you.
Stop calling me out. Steph, she's lying if you're watching this.
Yes.
I listen to all your text messages, even when you're writing books.
But she said the same thing, and it's possible that no one does it up on the throne, but what kind of a democracy would we be, and who would be nominated and who would become, I don't even know what they wouldn't call it, a president. I don't know if we're there yet in this kind of high fantasy drama that they would call him a president, but I
Yeah,
wonder
they
what
could
the
have a
ruler would.
season. They could have another Game of Thrones and make it like what's it called? Oh shit, the White House show. Diana, thank you so much. That's exactly what I said. Why didn't she just go back and burn the ships? Because you're on Drogon, right? And the ships are like they can't move that fast, and the arrows have to be reloaded.
Like I said, fight or flight. She's going mad. She's
That's why.
everything. It's her mind.
Well, I mean, like we said earlier, that's also to push the fact, like, oh, look, John is a better leader because John would have done that.
He's a war hero. That's what Varys said.
And
He knows
it's
how to
important.
keep level
He has a
headed.
cock too. That's also important.
Yeah, they did mention that, but also not that important. But no, he
wait
has
a
a
minute.
level head, and she doesn't have a level head. She's not a fighter. She never has been. She had other people do her fights for her, and she comes in as the Misa. So for her to go into battle, she's already fought a battle, lost Jorah while she was in this battle, didn't do so hot, suffered heavy losses. I think that's why she's not thinking straight. And obviously she doesn't have time to go back around and say, okay, guys, the new strategy, because those ships are already ready to attack. Her ships.
Yeah, but then again, Psycho Cleveland's right. After the Thraki charge on the Darkness,
Yeah, that was pretty.
damn it, don't fucking Dark Sledge. I love that guy.
What
He
about
loves bringing back.
Dario? If
Wait, we're
only
talking about
Dario
like
shows back up.
original Dario. Let's
No,
bring
not
back original
original
Dario.
Dario. The
Not
Dario
not
that was in
no.
Nashville, the show.
That guy's way too good looking and too nice to be Dario. We want original like
He
asshole
was good
Dario
looking.
back.
The asshole Dario
Yeah,
was good
yeah,
looking
but
too.
he was like a sleazebag good looking. Yes, the final season of Angel was really well done. Because remember they had that budget. They were like, "Oh, we're getting canceled, so fuck it, let's spend all the money." That's why I love that last season.
OG Dario, we riot.
That's
I
right.
think Omar
OG Dar.
would.
I love OG Dario. That's where it's at. Except for he
Mhm.
didn't have blue hair. He should have blue hair.
I like Ameski's Tyrion, Varys, and Sansa sitting on a council. Yeah, I mean, if we were going a democracy route, maybe it is a council of rulers who come together and they they are the ones who actually are the ones who decide matters for the entire realm, and they can go talk to their people, and they have their people now have more of a say. That would make a lot of sense, and that would be a really interesting way to end this,
They could
where it's
start a
not about a
senate.
throne.
They could start a senate and then have different planets join the senate, right? And then can have a big planet, a city planet, if you will. Anyway, I'm
Oh
making a
boy.
Star Wars reference.
Yeah, you are
Uh,
making a Star Wars reference.
I thought I was laying it on pretty thick.
You were. The Council of Westeros, the Council of Elrond.
Oh
Oh,
my
I
gosh,
love how
people will watch that show.
I
The
would watch that
Council of
show.
Westeros.
I mean,
West
since
Wing. West Wing. That's what the show I was thinking of earlier. This is what happens when we do a live show and I can't think.
I hope everyone dies to Arya. I would like Arya to survive. I think she needs to go off and do her own thing. Um, but I would like her to stay alive, and I like her to maybe try to save Jon. I don't know if she'll make it work, but
She's already had her thing. I mean, what else is more badass than killing the Night King? Do you
the Night
really
King,
think
she's
she's
kind
going
of
to kill the
yeah.
Night King and Cersei? This is Game of Thrones.
No,
You think
Jaime's
Jaime's
killing
going to
Cer
kill her?
I still think it has to be Jaime. I
Hmm.
still think maybe, and that's only if we're done with prophecy,
They're-
screw it, I don't know. But if we're still thinking that these prophecies they wanna bring up and mention in flashbacks or present day with the Red Woman or crazy witches in huts, then they should kind of pan out a little bit. I'm just
Do you
saying.
guys think Gendry will ignore the throne and travel with Arya if Arya survives? I I mean, I could see him
Um,
being her little bitch boy.
but I
He's
don't
kind of
think
a
he
pushover. I think he likes the idea of being a lord though.
I think he does because he's never, he's always been or always thought of himself as just a bastard with nothing, and now he has something. So I don't think he would necessarily go. I think that their little relationship was in the moment, that's what they both needed. It's a one and done for her, and I don't think that's not her style.
Can Davos smuggle some people into King's Landing? That's right. That's what he was known for. He was a
He
smuggler.
might
That's why he
be
got
able
his
to.
fingers cut off, or top of his fingers cut off. Onion Knight. Jamie kills Cersei because that's what fans wanted last season, and D&D gives in. Oh, the producers.
Yeah, the two Davids,
Um,
yeah.
man, that's just too. I don't know. That's just too in like by the book how a story should play out though, and that's not what I like about. That's what I haven't been liking about Game of Thrones. And with
But
this, the turn of Daenerys makes it really interesting again to me.
yes, but for Cersei to like, if someone said to kill Arya and she's already at this point she is winning. I mean, let's face it, even if Daenerys comes in there strong with her one dragon, there's a good possibility Cersei might have already thought of that. And yes, she does hate her people. She could care less. It's all about power for her. It's always been about power for her. But at the same time, she is pretty calculating right now. And her head, even though she's also kind of mad because of everything that's happened,
But she's always been mad.
yeah, she's always has been, and
And
she's been
she's
able
fucking
to,
her brother. Like
yeah, she's always been a little bit, she's been always able to think a step ahead of a lot of people, and that's it works for her. It doesn't work for Daenerys.
Omar, honestly, if you were Miss Sandy, wouldn't you just grab onto her and jump from that wall? Everything would have been done.
Yeah, I don't know why that didn't happen.
Yep. No. I like the way Miss Sandy went out. You know,
Oh
she
yeah,
she yelled out exactly what Daenerys needed to make her snap.
snap.
I'm good with that.
Yeah,
Cersei's the hot match. She's about to get hot, man. Fucking burn down the entire damn city.
yeah, I'll be
John's gonna try to
interested.
stop her, and then she's gonna accidentally burn John, and now everybody's gonna go after her in the episode 6. Fanficking again.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one thing I got out of this episode is if I wrote a fan fiction about Game of Thrones,
Yeah, tell me about it.
what would I have wanted? Well, I wanted John
Well,
and Sansa to end up together because they're not really brother and sister, but
how are
never
we?
mind.
How we go back to your fanfic, your actual fanfic that you wrote too, by the way, which I love that you snuck it in here.
Oh, me too.
You didn't think? I thought Jamie. I think as far as fanfic, Jamie and
Brienne,
Brienne.
for me, was the most part. Yes. And there's like little conversations and stuff that one could say might have been fanficking. But we've been talking about that stuff, but did we mention, we've kind of mentioned like the pace of the show and how it went. It was a really
Well,
interesting.
yeah, okay. Before we grade this
Before we
episode, and then
before we
everybody
start
in
rating
the
it,
chat
yeah.
can join in too. Let us know what you thought of this episode out of 10. That's how Amanda and I have been grading them. Just the episode, not the season.
Yeah.
I thought the pacing was weird, right? Because a lot happened
Yes. But
in
it felt
small,
slow.
long chunks.
Yes.
I think some tighter editing. This episode could have been a lot shorter, honestly.
It could have. There
But
could have
if
been some stuff cut out of it.
But if you're like me and you're like, oh well, shit, they're really turning Daenerys into fucking Dark Phoenix,
Yeah, it is
then
dark.
maybe this episode should have been this long, right? Because the beginning, she's she's looking at John like, this motherfucker's gonna try to steal my throne. Then by the end of it, she's like, all my friends are dead. My damn Hand of the King's an idiot. I'm gonna burn this city down.
The look on her face when he was up there trying to talk to his sister, she's like, "Why are you trying to plead with her? You know."
Right, that's another Tyrion. Like, why Tyrion? Just it's not happening.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. You're smarter than that. You want to live, right? You said how you wanted to die, which is a wonderful way.
Exactly. It was the pacing, like, and I think I texted you during it because we couldn't be together tonight because I just got back from New York, guys, and I was exhausted, and I had to be here to do all that other post trip stuff. But yeah, I think I texted you. Is this show dragging or is it just me? Like, yes, there were some wonderful moments in it,
but it shouldn't. When you're this late into the game, and I was gonna actually talk to you right afterwards before we did this,
Yeah.
but I'll do it now. When you're late into this game of a show, there is no reason to be dragging. Everything should be bam, 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 unless they're planning something big like a turn. And this was the turning point for Dany so by the next episode, when she does go evil and burns everybody, including her own men, including people that are trying to stop her, like Tyrion, because he didn't listen to Varys, then you're like, oh, they totally set that up last episode. So that's probably why.
And then that would make sense. And I hope that's the case. And we see John get some sense knocked into him, and he's like, I have to go take her out now.
All right. So, saying all that, Amanda, what would you give this episode out of 10?
Out of 10, I think I would give this a 7. It wasn't my favorite episode of the season, but it did do the job it needed to do, which was it clearly marked Daenerys for a downhill turn. So, and it's setting up a lot of stuff
where they're going.
Yeah.
I give it a 7.5. I think it wasn't a terrible episode. I just wish we got more than what they did for an hour and a half. Perhaps, maybe is what I was trying to say. But other than the death of Rhaegal, right? Rhaegal,
Sandy. Yeah.
Oh, oops. My bad. Miss Sandy, too.
Yeah, don't forget her.
Rest in peace.
We all thought Grey Worm was getting the last episode, but now...
now he's all fucked up, man. They killed my girl.
Plot twist.
How hard it is to find a girl that don't like dudes with no dicks?
Very hard.
Very hard. So in the chat, let's see, 5 at best, 9 out of 10, 10 out
Small
of
gave it a
10,
7.
7 out of 10.
Psycho Cleveland gave the Jamie Brand scene 11 out of 10. Good
Yeah,
for her. Good
yep.
for her.
I
Yeah.
want it. That could have been longer. That could have been about 10 minutes. You know, nothing but some love making right before the bad things happen.
Yep.
Last week's episode was a 10 out of 10. Even I think what did we give it? I think I gave it like a 8.5 or
I
9.
think we gave it about an 8 or a 9. Yeah, something like that.
I
And
can't
that's
remember.
mainly because we liked how the sense of dread it gave you during the
I
it
like
was
the
more
way it
about
was
the
shot. I
shot.
know a lot of people did not, but I
Yeah.
stand my
And
ground.
I've read
dig
a
it.
lot of articles and watched some stuff about the shooting aspect of it, or the filmmaking process, and about how, when you film a certain way for a darkness, and when it's on the big screen, like some of the people I watched said they got to see it on the big screen. It was showing for like a select few people on an actual movie screen, and it was phenomenal. But when you compress it for television, those dark colors, it doesn't blend well, and
Well,
you have those issues.
HBO also doesn't have the strongest 4K. Like I think
They
they
don't.
don't even air anything in 4K
Yeah.
yet, do they? But and then again, you're sharing it with millions of people that are watching streaming it at the same time. You're gonna lose some. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see that when it's in true 4K. And all right, so 7.5, 7, 2 episodes left.
2 episodes left.
Will this be the best season of Game of Thrones? I guess we will find out. Because when we're done with this, I also want to rank our seasons, Amanda.
I
I
think
like
that'd
it.
be a good idea.
I think we should rank our seasons and where this one will rank. Because I'm curious to know which ones you like and which ones you did
Exactly.
not.
I'm for it. Y'all down with it?
Oh, you're asking them. You're asking them.
Oh yeah, I was
thought you were
asking them.
them. Sledge,
They was
Danny.
compressed as fuck. Yes, they are.
Danny, yeah, is she's gonna do something reckless. That's right, buddy.
Yes, she
And then
is. She's already done some pretty bad stuff.
that's when Stannis is gonna come back. Stannis, and he's gonna bring OG Dario with him.
OG Dario.
Yes, man.
Maybe Lady Stoneheart out of the blue will show up.
Oh God, yeah. Let's piss off every book fan ever. Lady Stoneheart.
Just
oh really? Now?
Of the last 2 episodes.
Welcome, Philip. You're never too late to the party, buddy. What would you give this episode out of 10?
Yeah, Philip, we got
everybody
you here.
That didn't get to rate it.
Yeah.
I gave it a 7.5. Amanda gave it a 7. Most people in the chat gave it 7, 8.
Oh, I would still like to see Jocwin show up.
Jocwin,
yeah. Oh, it was so awesome.
And it turns out to be Littlefinger the whole time. There's your theory, man.
It's an interesting theory, but I'd be so mad if Peter Baelish showed back up at this point. Philip gave it a 6.
Philip gave it a 6. All right. Philip, I was curious to know if you enjoyed this more than you did the last few episodes. But anyway, is that it, Amanda? Would you like to say your piece?
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for notification of more great Near Mint Condition content. Remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at Near Mint Con. We also have a Patreon if you want to support our channel, and you can find the information on that in the link in our description of the channel. And remember, everyone, if it's classy and cool, it must be Near Mint. Have a good evening.
Good night, everybody.
Night, guys.